Alrighty, doing something a bit different for a while with Prepared. Sick of flying the NGX around, so I've been messing around with FS Economy, which is basically like a full GA simulation of aircraft ownership, charter sort of stuff, and I've set it up in New Guinea. I'm flying out of Moresby, so at the moment I'm renting this Cessna Caravan, and you basically haul freight passengers between different places and generate income that way. And it's pretty organised. You can do multi-sector trips, which I'm doing today. So I'm flying up to Woitape, and then onto Tapini, and then back to Moresby. So we're VFR at the moment. We're just trundling along the hills here. We're just approaching Woitape, and Woitape is in this valley up ahead. So I'm just going to disconnect, and we'll just pass. Get rid of the flight directors as well. There we go. I'll just show you this strip that's down here on the way into the valley. You can just see it on the ridgeline up ahead on the nose now. So we'll make our way into the valley and have a look at it. But this is ridgetop strip, and you can see it's pretty hectic. It's not really suited for the caravan. It's got a bend in it. It's about a 10-degree right-hand turn, about 3/4 away along the strip. It's a one-way strip, so you'd come in this way and land at the end here, and then roll out to a turning area on the other end. So that's it there. I have taken this in here, but only once successfully. The rest of the times I've ended up in the trees. But with the smaller aircraft, it's pretty good. So it's part of the Tapini package from ORBX, and that's it down there. It's awesome scenery. Anyway, and there's a parking area right at the end, just going under the strut there. But that's not where we're going. So I'm taking it up to Woitape, which is just up ahead. You can see it right at the end of the valley, just starting to appear there now. So the strip at Woitape's about 5,300 feet high. It's quite a long strip, so it's not an issue for an aircraft like this one. It can be an issue taking off though, especially if you're heavy. Slightly downhill. We land up towards the northwest and take off towards the southeast. But we'll have a look at it anyway when you get there. But it is short enough for taking off, and takes you into a valley with high terrain on either side. So if the cloud's down, which is because it's winter here at the moment, that's just not the case. So this is the valley you'd come up from Moresby, straight up this valley and into Woitape. But most of the time you'd be below the cloud here in the valley, so you've got to be able to turn around. And this is probably the only part of the valley you can turn around, this flat section up here. Anyway, we'll bring it in. So I'm configured, the lights are on, flying up the valley, and I'm slowing down now. And we're going to put it into Woitape, and it's pretty cool scenery as well. Also part of the Tapini package from ORBX. And I completely rate this scenery too. It's awesome. The best approach for this is to actually come up this valley here where those trees are, and follow the tree line up. It's easier to sit on the high side up like this, so you can follow the tree line, and it'll take you straight into the field, especially if the vis is down a bit. Having GPS also helps, but you don't really need it. I use a lot of direct 2s with the Garmin coming in here. So you can see the valley just leads you straight into the runway. You can see why you can't come in the other way. That hot rising terrain up to the northwest. It's not really conducive from approaching that way. I mean, you could come in pretty steep angle, but there's no point. You get tailwinds up this valley too, so at the moment it's pretty much nil wind, which is good, but I've seen about 5 to 10 knots of tailwind on this strip since I've been playing around with it. And anyway, so I'm not on the brakes at the moment, I'm just using the beta to stop. That's one thing I've noticed about this Coronado aircraft, its rudder authority is really terrible on the ground. It's okay when you got the nose wheel steering, but as it slows down, you have to use braking sometimes to steer the thing, and like there's no wind here either, so in a crosswind it's no good. Anyway, here we are, so I'll just turn around and pull up behind that twin otter over there. And unfortunately I let it stop. On this end of the strip on the grass it gets a bit slow. Righto, and when I set the brake and shut down, FS Economy will unload the packs. That was it, just the pause in the sound was it saying that your flight's been logged. And because it's multi-sector, it unload those, and when I start it again, it'll load whatever we're taking out of here. So that's it. Welcome to Woitape. I'll just get out of the aircraft. And there we go. It's pretty cool scenery. You can see the slight downhill aspect heading off, but it takes you to rising terrain at the end, so you make a sort of right turn after takeoff and head down the valley to climb out. Obviously being at 5,300 feet, which I'm pretty sure that's the altitude. Yep, 5,300, and it's pretty hot, so it's an interesting strip with an aircraft without performance. I mean, this one does have it, so anyway. I'll see you on another leg.